You should always speak to your doctor before you change, start, or stop any part of your healthcare plan, including physical activity or exercise. If you have any known contraindication to an exercise, please skip that exercise and continue to the next. Reach your arms long to the sides. Feel your fingertips reach to your toes as your collarbones widen. Using your exhale to float your arms over your head and your inhale to lower your arms down to your side. Your focus is to keep your upper back connected to the mat at all times while lifting and lowering your arms, reaching through your fingertips and keeping a nice width in the front and back of your body. If you'd like to progress this movement, one arm will lift over your head, and as you exhale, your arms will pass each other in the air. This is much more challenging for the spine to stay still and stable, and that's, again, your emphasis is that connection to your upper back and the mat as those arms pass in space. You want to do about 3 repetitions of each progression, and then pausing with your arms by your sides. Beginning with your hips and shoulders stacked and your fingertips in alignment, you'll inhale as your arm comes over your head, reaching your hand to the wall behind you. And as you exhale, you'll float your arm back up towards the ceiling and then back hand over hand until your shoulders and your hips have restacked. You'll want to make sure that your pelvis, your hips, stay still at all times as your body rotates all the way through to get a stretch in your neck and your chest, and using an exhale to return your hand in, still keeping that pelvis stacked. Your eyes will always stay on your hand, and that will cause your head to rotate first, then your neck, then your breastbone, and then your ribs. And on your return, you'll rotate your ribs around, followed by your neck, and then finally your head. Doing about 3 repetitions on each side, then you'll turn to the other side. Again, restacking the pelvis, hip over hip, shoulder over shoulder, and fingertips align. Taking an inhale as your arm travels up to the ceiling and reaches to the wall behind you. Using your exhale to feel the rotation of your spine as your hands come around. Again, feeling the head rotate, then the neck, the breastbone, followed by the ribs, reaching a little further possibly, and then rotating the ribs around, using a strong exhale to draw your abdominals in to pull you back to start. Doing one more, stretching through your fingertips, emphasizing the exhale to narrow your waist, pulling the ribs around, followed by the shoulder, neck, and then head. Starting with your hands stacked directly under your shoulders and your knees stacked directly under your hips. It's important that you feel a width across your collarbones while you create length through your head, through both arms, and through your sit bones. You can see here, you can begin by just floating one hand away from the mat just till your fingertips come off. And this is an additional challenge, floating the hand all the way over the head. But you want to stay in a range that you are still and stable and also pain-free. Using your exhale to deepen the work around your waist as the arm lifts, and an inhale as it lowers and you replace the hand. You want to keep the body as still as possible while lengthening your arms up and down. Again, emphasizing your breath, exhaling to lift, drawing the waist in to support the body, and then inhaling to lower back down. Adding on to this challenge is a leg variation. Again, starting with just stretching the leg out, keeping the toes on the mat, the whole body is still, and then floating it back down so your knee comes right under your hip. And then moving to the other side, stretching the other leg long, keeping the toes still on the mat, and then floating the knee back in till it comes directly under your hip. If you'd like to add on, and that is only if your body stays still, Then you can stretch your leg long and then lift it up so it comes in line with your body. You'll feel it's very challenging to keep the low back in a neutral place. So making sure that as that leg floats up, your tummy draws up and into your body as that leg lifts, your spine stays still, and as you float it down, so does your pelvis on the return. The pelvis and the spine and the head are always still. Again, doing about 3 reps of these on each leg and each arm. If you'd like to add on to a progression, you can do so by lifting opposite arm and opposite leg, and this variation is much more challenging. So to begin that, you'll inhale to prepare, and with your exhale, you'll stretch one arm out and reach the other leg in opposition, feeling energy from your head to your toes and through your fingertips, and then you'll replace it back in. You want to imagine that you are balancing tea on your back. So if you had a pot of tea on your back, you'd want it not to move at all as you lower and lift your arm and leg. You're going to alternate arm and leg, doing about 3 or 4 repetitions on each side. Again, feeling a reach from your head all the way to your arm, using your abdominal connection to keep your body still. Inhaling as it comes down and exhaling as it lifts, feeling your tummy corset into your body. And inhaling as it comes down, exhaling as the other side lifts, and deepen the work around your waist. This is a very advanced challenge, so you want to stay in a range of motion that's pain-free. Leg pull front is a variation of quadruped. So starting in your quadruped position and then reaching one leg long at a time, you'll then exhale to float one leg up and inhale as it lowers. Just like in quadruped, your focus is to keep your pelvis completely still while lifting one leg and then floating it down with your inhale, using your exhale to draw your waist in and floating the other leg up, and inhaling as you lower, noticing the stillness in Tahira's body as she continues this movement. This is the more advanced variation, adding a leg lift multiple times before lowering. In this case, you can do 3, but 2 is fine, or even staying with 1, doing only as many as you can keep the body still without changing the low back. This variation is adding a point and then a flex and then a point and lowering down, and here's a point, flex, and point, and lowering down. We are so glad that you joined us for Pilates Day 2013, and we can't wait to see you in the studio soon to help continue making your body the best it can be. At Synergy Studio, we specialize in Pilates, physical therapy, massage, nutrition, and strength and conditioning. And if you'd like help in any of these areas, you can book a session by calling the studio or visiting our website. We hope to see you soon.